Hello everyone and welcome to our channel, and today I'll be reading Multi-Character Listener by me. So let's get into it. Neuvillette. You were desperate to get his attention, and he was someone who struggled to even rest and pay attention to his surroundings, and even himself. So you knew this was a hard mission. That's why you had a plan in mind, and decided that if you did not rest in just an hour, you would have to step in and do something about it. So, while he was doing paperwork on his desk, you just went over to him and held up his arm, made space for yourself, and sat down on his lap, watching as his eyes just widened while he looked at you. Leon, what are you... What am I doing? Nothing. Just trying to find a suitable place to rest, you say, laughing softly at the flustered look on his face, the subtle blush on his cheeks that only a few people would notice. I'm not sure this is the most suitable place for you, Leon. I mean, you can't be truly so comfortable. I am comfortable, don't you worry about me. The real question is, are you comfortable, Chief Justice? He looked away, blushing. I'm perfectly fine, thank you. That's good to hear. Now, if you would allow me, I'll take a little bit of a nap here. You mumbled, and suddenly, you were really just hugging him, laying your head on his chest, while he just had to continue his paperwork. But he couldn't, not without moving you around a little bit too much. And he did not want to interrupt your nap, even though you chose an unsuitable location for it. Instead, he just sighed softly and shook his head. I suppose you should, and I'll take a couple minutes of rest. That's good. I'm proud of you, he whispered, and for some reason, he had an inkling that you were planning this all along. But then again, the idea of resting with you was not the most terrible thing in the world, so he truly doesn't mind. Arlecchino. Arlecchino was a little bit tired, and she had a lot on her mind. You could tell that just from a single glance. It was easy for you to read her, even though she was impossible to read for anyone else. But some things just came easy with love, and you loved her very much. So right now, as you saw her staring at the fireplace, sitting on her luxurious chair, you couldn't help but wonder how to help her. And you knew you couldn't help in any realistic way. You could not offer advice to her troubles. And she was not the type who liked talking about them. She liked to think and figure out things herself. So the only way that you could help was offering comfort in any way that you could, by not necessarily even having to listen to the entire thing. So that's why, as you saw her drumming her fingers on the arm of her seat, he sat down on her lap, looking into her eyes. Arlecchino, is everything alright, darling? Yes, you don't have to worry too much. Is something wrong? She asked you, cupping your face in her hands, and you blushed, smiling. Nothing at all. I'm just here to sit with you. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that. No, there's nothing wrong. I just wanted to see if you needed anything. Not right now. Right now, all I need is to be with you. That's more important than anything else. She smiled and wrapped you closer in her arms. Well, I can help you with that, she said, and she just let you cuddle close. You knew she needed this as well, but Arlecchino would never say it. So, if you acted like you were the one who needed it, she would accept it and indulge herself a little bit. It's not like you didn't need her affection all the time, but right now she was definitely the one who needed it more, and you just knew how to offer it without making her feel a little bit inadequate. Scaramouche. Scaramouche was just in a bit of a mood where he didn't want to talk to anyone. There was that big pout on his face, and he looked cute, to be quite honest. However, you knew he could be quite unapproachable in the state. But that did not mean that you would leave him alone. Nuh-uh. He did not have the choice. Not when it was you around. You would not leave him alone at all. So that's why, when he looked at you and glared, you just ignored it and sat down on his lap instead, wrapping your arms around his neck and looking at him. Skara, tell me, what's going on? Why are you looking at me like that? Nothing, he whispered, and he laughed softly. I know you're upset. You've been pouting all day. You can talk to me, you know. He just looked away, his pout never just leaving his face, and you couldn't help but think of how adorable he was. Yes, he was more than 5 centuries old, but somehow it did not lessen his cuteness, not one bit. So, as he turned away from you and tried to avoid confrontation, you just kept his face in your hands and turned it to you again, pressing a soft kiss to his lips and wiping that pout away as he looked at you with a blush on his cheeks. Just what do you think you're doing? I'm doing what I have to. Come on, look at you. You're no longer pouting now. He blushed brighter, then just huffed, turning away from you again. You're a moron, Wyan. Sure thing. I am a moron, because I love you so much. You say, wrapping your arms around his waist and burying your face into his neck, running your fingers through his hair gently. And because he was so weak to everything that you did, he couldn't help the soft sigh that he let out as he just melted against you and wrapped his arms right back around your frame, closing his eyes. The two of you did not need to talk a lot. You didn't want to know what's going on if he didn't want to tell you. But all you wanted was for him to just have someone, because he's been alone for so much of his life that right now you would not let him be sad alone, no matter what he said. You couldn't let him be, because it reminded you of just how alone he was before. And now, you would make sure he knows that it's totally different. And contrary to what he shows, he actually needs it. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope to see you again on my channel. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you liked the video. Bye!